But Morpheus says it, most people's minds are not ready to be freed. Most people are so dependent on the system that they'll fight to defend it. Their minds are not ready to be freed. We'll talk about network and how important that is. But it's interesting you say about being in the room where people are talking about property deals. I say the same thing. I say this to people. If you're in a room full of ice cream experts and all they talk about is ice cream, how to make ice cream, their favorite flavor, the best way to store it, how much it costs to produce, how to transport it, and that's all they talk about is ice cream. Even if you have no interest in ice cream, over a long enough period of time, you're gonna end up knowing stuff about ice cream. You're gonna end up knowing shit. You're like, that's double chocolate this, it costs this much, and this is how they moved it. You're gonna know things about ice cream. If you're in a room full of people who only talk about money, then you're gonna end up knowing about money. It's exactly the same thing. Network is net worth, everyone understands this. And people also understand that they're likely to become the sum of the 5 people they spend the most time with, but then they hang around with losers. It just blows my mind. It's like, I'm a busy man. Like, I don't have time. All these opportunities I've given a little away. I've told a little bit about domain names, a little bit about the Russian ruble, a little bit about stocks, etc. I'm very busy myself, but my network, I have hundreds of people who I talk to all doing this shit. Hey, Tate, have you seen this? Boom. And I'll throw him something, he'll throw me something. That's my ecosystem. That's who I talk to. Those are my friends. We don't talk about Rihanna. We don't talk about football. We don't talk about Love Island. We don't talk about anything other than money.
Yeah.
How are we not going to make hundreds of millions of dollars? How am I not going to have money? Like, that's all we talk about. That's all we do. I say this to people and I say, when's the last time, we talked about the coffee shop example. I say this to people all the time. When's the last time you sat and talked about it? When's the last time you sat down with someone and talked about money? Well, what do you mean talk about money? Well, if you don't know what to talk about, then you don't understand money. So go learn how money works. Go learn how a bank works. Go sit on YouTube for free. You don't just pay 50 grand in 4 years like a university. Go sit on YouTube and understand money, banking, or the real estate market, any of it. Understand the last housing price crash, why it happened. Understand mortgage rates and how that's affected by interest rates. Understand it, and then go sit with someone else who understands it and talk about it. I think I'll be remembered for being one of the first major voices in the breaking of the big tech monopoly. That's going to be exciting. Since I've moved over to Rumble, the world's already began to change in real time. Russell Brand's now moved over. Steve will do it. One of the Nelk boys and big Twitch streamers, big YouTubers are all moving over. I started all of it a month ago, and they've just gone public. So that's $RUM on the NASDAQ. I think across the next 10 years, as YouTube continue their censorship, especially with the elections coming up and these kind of things, and they continue their censorship and people get more and more tired of it, they're going to be moving to alternative platforms. So I think Rumble stocks and go to the moon. It's a tip for everyone who's looking to make money. That'll make me a billionaire. And then what do I do? Buy more cars. I'd rather have the car than the money. That's how I justify it. I'm at the point now where I used to love them because I love to drive, and I live in Romania where they have beautiful mountain roads and there's no real speed limits at my level of influence, so I can drive however I want. So the whole place is like a racetrack, and my hobby would just be, if I ever took time off work, would just be to drive 3-4 hours to the mountains, stay in a nice hotel, drive. I just love to drive around Europe. I drive to the Alps, drive through Switzerland, blah, blah. But now I'm kind of too busy to drive. So now I just buy them because when I say money isn't real, I'll give you an example. Before I was too famous to walk the street, every time I walked past an ATM, I would get out as much as I could. I'd get the maximum cash. I was with a girl a couple years ago, and she goes, why do you do that? And I said, because it's free money. She goes, why is it free money? I was like, because if my bank balance is 17,184,938 and I go get 900 quid out, it looks the same. It's the same, but I have 900 pounds now. Just even being around people with money, it's just a good place to be. I'll give you an example. I was in Romania and I have the largest car collection probably in Romania. I have 28 supercars, everything you can name. And I went to a town called Cluj-Napoca. It's on the border of Hungary. And I drove there in my Chiron and I parked up and a kid came up and he said, hey, can I take some photos of your car? I have a car spotting page. I was like, yeah, whatever, cool. And he goes, yeah, okay, I'll just be a few minutes to this. So he took a bunch of photos and he come up to me and goes, hey, do you want the photos? And I was like, not really, I already have photos. And he goes, oh yeah, okay. Well, if you want them, here's my email address. And I said to him, why do you do this? Like, you spend all day standing around taking photos of other people's cars. Is that not a waste of time? I thought it was a waste of time, but I was wrong. He goes, oh, well, I skipped school and I skipped college because I knew if I take pictures of expensive cars and email them to people, I'll have email addresses of the richest people in Romania. I was like, you're clever. I ended up hiring him. He works for me now.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I like you. He got himself a full-time job that day. So he understood, be near the money. I have no money. Money's over there. Well, let me get closer to it. Like, no point staying over here on my fucking own. Let me at least get closer to it. That was a 17-year-old kid. Now he's making 10 grand a month in Romania from me. So like, at least being closer to it. So that you're right. People should, even if they haven't got a penny in the world, should be going to these meetings about real estate, about investing, that especially if it's cheap, they should go. Just meet other people who at least have money. Have conversations about money. Talk about it. How are you gonna get what you don't talk about?